Welcome, I'm Tracy Pa with another episode of Scope. Panguna landowners from the Autonomous Region of Bougainville left no stone unturned when they started the morning session on Tuesday, August 29 at the Community Affairs and National Context Conference and Expo. During the second day of the inaugural CANCONEX, hosted at the PNG University of Technology in Leh, Morobe Province, Panguna representative Theonila Roka Matbob said while their journey was and is painful, they hope PNG and the rest of the world can learn from it.
PNG's inaugural Community Affairs and National Content Conference and Expo, or CANCONEX, was held on the 28th to the 30th of August at the PNG University of Technology in Leh, Morobe Province. The second day of CANCONEX started on the morning of Tuesday, the 29th of August, with discussions on lessons learned from the closure of the Panguna mine, operated by Bougainville Copper Limited, from 1972 until 1989, when the Bougainville crisis forced its closure. Sharing their experiences was former CEO of Bougainville Development Corporation, Paul Nerau, former president of PNG Council of Women, Theresa Jaintong, and Bougainville's Minister for Community Government and member for Euro constituency, Theonila Roka Matbob. In her presentation, Minister Matbob, a social worker by profession, said Bougainville's truth cannot be avoided as the lengthy civil war cost over 25,000 lives. Locals suffered the consequences of a damaged environment, human rights violations, and a massive destruction of properties and intergenerational trauma.
And while it has been a painful walkabout for Bougainville, it's good that it also been allowing me too in the rest of the country. You may line mistake no Bougainville. So that is why I'm inviting you all to be very open-minded about this presentation by me bringing. So presentation outlined by more, I'll start it off from an historic context by me bringing me engagements that happened both at the institutional level, now line if there was one plan, and then local context, just to bring relevance, practice, one and you work today, and then the ownership structure, process two, project two, because this is where the relevance, this conference come inside, and the efforts that we've been left with now, and see if we are dealing with it together as a country, or we've left it to the resource owners to deal with it by themselves. So that is why this is how the presentation will go, and then conclusion, and then by me got sample recommendation by me putting forward. You will get it has been the first project in the country. And it happened at that time, you may know we got 2 months or get our governance systems and structure where you may work hard. And obviously, you plus have that me blind of Bougainville, me blind like a country law before yet. You know now, before the Panguna 2 start, so this is where by you looking for some project of Panguna. And maybe run na politics na economy to work. Given that there was political, geographical, socio-economic challenges faced, before the project was even started, there were lengthy studies. And I'm really thankful and grateful that Yumi Woklo Gadisla Conference, the one by education institution. Because in order for Panguna to work about, na come up in revenue the country, it also took the education institutions, the only work guiding policy development, our project by Ron. Because there was overwhelmingly from a line blow place threat, there was very stiff opposition even start. So it kind of took different organizations to work together to be able to come up with the best policy, not only can making sure that Mibla counter him too. One and more possible, every he can come up behind them and minimize him. Something he can come up in order to run a project law, benefiting country. So the reality is, literature showed that conflict was imminent. And the engagement towards the project development obviously happened. It started with the colonial government of Australia.
Matbob outlined that in the ownership structure of Panguna, the PNG government and the Investment Corporation of PNG at that time owned 20% in shares, public shareholders owned 26.4%, CRA Limited owned 53.6%, while Panguna landowners had no shares. Minister Matbob said they were outside the equation.
So what was the landowner concern? The landowner concern was the social livelihood man. We were outside of the equation. We were outside of the equation. We were the mere spectators, and as rightly stated by Big Man Blomipa Paul Nerao, we were just there enjoying the services. Everything was monopolized. Maybe because at that time too, we not got enough educated man married too to be able to, talk on the company and see where we would participate. And that led to the landowners complaining. It was not even a war, it was a complaint for the laws to be reviewed, specifically the Bougainville Copper Agreement. We did not pick up guns, we did not pick up bows and arrows. We wanted the laws to be reviewed. We wanted the government of the day to listen to the landowner complaining. Francis Ona, he wasn't a revolutionary leader at that time. So instead of us going to the laws, to the books and making sure that they accommodate the landowners, what happened? We militarized the issue. Time militarizing issue, we moved away, we left the Bougainville Copper Agreement, the Silipi stuff, now you start fighting a Melo Union. Was it necessary? Not even. It wasn't necessary. It was a simple issue of us sitting on a round table, following the ownership structure. You may come one time, we sit down and we say, okay landowners, what do you want? How can we accommodate you in this? So that simple thing of not listening, not cooperating with each other led to, it costed the whole nation, Bougainville Castle. And then after you militarizing in 2001, we forgot the root cause of the problem, and because Mipla like him independence, because that pain, to be very honest, speaking on behalf of the landowners, is unforgivable. It was simple. Our leaders wanted the law to be reviewed and regulated properly because environment destruction was uncontrolled, land destruction was uncontrolled, displacement of people was real. And we had, when Olain Bloyumi from Onarapla Happy gonna build him a settlement, it just caused security issues. And how people couldn't move around freely, and those were the complaints.
Minister Matbob, who lost her father during the 10-year conflict, reminded the government that the root of the issue is yet to be resolved.
30 or 10 years we fight, come. What happened? We all forgot that the initial agenda was fixing the law. We forgot it. And then we left everything, and now, Bougainville has reached the point of no return. We will not go independence now, but the real agenda stands. I'm seeing all these progresses that's happening. And in the extractive industry space, you have a forgotten agenda in Panguna that has never been given a formal closure. We need to train ourselves to create an opening and put a closer before we start a new agenda. That's governance. What happened? After Lomita waiting, go. And then we thought that we cannot wait any longer. So we had to call for these little people in the communities to sign a legal complaint so that we can bring him all get all owners for company come on time or shareholders lo me come on time na talk me play because gaman lo Papua New Guinea but you know na pare me plan but you know na BC mo you might be still on your project now you lose thinking of what have you been starting past. And we came into to Papua New Guinea, mibla look lo system lo yumi lo here. You know a room inside lo system lo yumi, me no lawyer, I'm a social worker. But me come check in now, we talk, you know a road to one last place man Mary na come na complain. So we had to then go to Australia and see if there was one, where there is a formal room where we can issue a complaint and then get the company, the government of Papua New Guinea, lo sindana yumi toke mi ana le libro mi playa.
When we come back, FPDA celebrates establishment of Tissue Culture Lab, which will improve livelihood of rural communities who depend on agriculture. Potato production in Papua New Guinea is expected to increase following the completion of a tissue culture laboratory for the Fresh Produce Development Agency in Kainantu, Eastern Highlands. The laboratory will produce clean, disease-free seed potato materials to improve farming productivity right across the country. Funded by the Australian government's Incentive Fund program, the laboratory will be complemented by a new training facility that will enable the FPDA to increase the reach of its agricultural extension training programs to 8,550 farming households.
Potato production in Papua New Guinea is about to take a leap forward with the completion of a new tissue culture laboratory for the Fresh Produce Development Agency set to boost production in the country. Recently opened by Australian High Commissioner John Philp and Chief Executive Officer for FPDA Mark Vorinu, the laboratory in Kainantu, Eastern Highlands Province, will produce clean, disease-free seed potato and sweet potato planting materials to distribute to the surrounding communities, doubling the number of seeds available and improving productivity right across the country. The project is funded by the Australian government's Incentive Fund program and is complemented by a new training center. The training center will enable the FPDA to increase the scope of its agricultural extension training programs by at least 10% to reach 8,551 farming households. The training will be accredited by the National Training Council and will contribute to improved food and nutrition security, quality of life, income and business opportunities for farming communities and others who depend on the horticulture sector for subsistence and livelihoods. Vorinu says that in addition to increasing yields and driving productivity, the new facility will provide excellent training resources to the local community.
I'd like to take this time to thank the Australian government through the Incentive Fund for funding these very important facilities, not for Fresh Produce Development Agency, but for the horticulture industry in Papua New Guinea and for the agriculture sector and our farming communities.
Mr. Vorinu said since the establishment of FPDA in 1988, it hasn't had such key facilities. This has impacted service delivery efforts of extension officers. Mr. Vorinu said FPDA has been hiring training venues, while tissue culture activities have been given to the National Agriculture and Research Institute and the University of Technology in Lae. After several attempts, they were able to get their proposal accepted by Incentive Fund in 2017. The establishment of such facility in such a strategic location will have wider impact.
So this is the first facility that we will own and operate to train the farmers. Not only for Kainantu, Oburo, Waninara, all Narblol districts, but Okataplo, Papua New Guinea. They will come and stay and they will undertake the trainings.
Vorinu further stressed that the establishment of the facilities will improve livelihood of rural communities who depend on agriculture through building a training facility for providing accredited training for farmers and other fresh produce value chain player, building a tissue culture facility for the production of disease-free planting material for distribution to farmers, and conducting a GASI activities in all levels of the project and organization.
This new building marks a new beginning for the horticulture industry, fresh produce development agency, and the agriculture sector. On record, in Papua New Guinea, no commodity boards have been able to secure funding from incentive fund. Fresh Produce Development Agency is the only organization that we've been able to secure this funding. The reason is simple, that we are accountable, our governance, our best management practices are top-notch. Our books are done by Deloitte. That is the reason why we have been able to getting funding from such reputable grants from Australia and others.
The training facility is satisfactorily built for use in compliance to PNG National Training Council specifications for accreditation incorporating all GASI compliance aspects. Mr. Vorinu also clarified that the construction and commissioning of a tissue culture facility for increased consistency and volume of clean, disease-free seed potato and sweet potato planting materials for distribution to farmer. Tissue culture laboratory is built to accepted standard and commissioned FPDA as an organization in the last 35 years has played an important role in building the capacity of rural disadvantaged farmers who have been able to be self-sufficient in food consumption and for income opportunities, which contribute to improving their livelihoods. FPDA aligns its policies to support government agenda in agriculture and economic development. Vorinu added that FPDA has contributed to increase local potato production, leading to supply of more than 90% of the domestic with locally produced fresh potato through a dedicated elite and certified seed potato program that produces and distributes clean seeds across the islands of PNG. He said the PNG Australia Incentive Partnership Fund funded infrastructure is timely and targets critical development areas. It is expected that well over 40,000 farmers will benefit from the training facility, while over 800 village extension workers across 38 districts and 12 provinces will be supported. The new buildings or facilities will obviously support the development of the horticulture industry by building the capacity of the key players in farmers, village extension workers, aggregators, market operators, shop owners, consumers, and service providers of the fresh produce industry. Mr. Vorinu also acknowledged the contributions from the FPDA board and the staff and management for their tireless contribution towards the project.
Population emi go hantap, na demand blong food emi go hantap, na yumi looking plenty imports work lo come inside lo country blo yumi. See folsom yumi no say work garden no kind of kind facility awesome now and by empowering people lo work in training, tissue culture lab emi stop supplying plenty clean materials come out na yumi supply me all farms na all farmers by work.
Australian High Commissioner John Phillips says this new facility is an example of Australia and PNG working with local partners to increase livelihoods and empower farmers to create better outcomes for their families and communities.
This project is unique because I'm supporting education and agriculture one time. We'll come up in economic and social development along Eastern Highlands, the PNG. New Pilla School by giving opportunity on kissing Gupila and New Pilla Savvy along agriculture. Long come up in big player crop produce, and a straightened life now good Palestinian along. These are important. As the CEO said, this project is very well positioned in Kainantu. close to Lae. But to do that, it's just one link in a very long chain. First link long chain. Emi all farmer man na farmi meri, long Kainantu, long Eastern Highlands, long all Highlands and Papua New Guinea. This center is another link. It's a new link to provide good quality seedlings and training so the farmers will have better food, better crops, better agriculture, and better export prospects.
He says the impact of such project is massive that will transform the skills and trainings for farmers in the country. He said to eradicate poverty and hunger in PNG and the rest of the world, PNG government must prioritize agriculture through the medium-term development plans. He added that Australia stands ready to support PNG through such projects.
The impact of this new agency is really important, not just for Kainantu, but for the whole of the Eastern Province, Eastern Highlands Province, for 8,550 farming families in this region, and farmers all across Papua New Guinea who will benefit from new planting materials free of diseases and pests.
The National Potato Scheme has had challenges meeting supply demands since its inception in 2006, with several periods where seeds and plantlets were not available for months at a time, which set farmers and other agribusiness and cooperatives back considerably. Mr. Phillips said such infrastructure project is very significant as it will really help the country in terms of food security.
Just better training by high standard of quality. And that means you will be able to have more produce and more understanding about how to get a bigger production for your crops each year.
The new facility will help support the scheme and ensure a steady supply of disease and pest-free materials to improve sustainability of the industry. The Integrated Development and Training Center will be fully fitted out with a library, office, classrooms, and a fully equipped laboratory. Seeds and plantlets will yield the resilient Irish potato and other commercial crops such as sweet potato and bulb onion, which will be targeted for distribution. The laboratory will double up as a seed bank for indigenous crops. Through Phase 4 of the Incentive Fund program, the Australian government invested more than 21 million kina in economic development to support agriculture and rural development across PNG. Phase 5 of the Incentive Fund commenced on 1st of July 2023 with applications open for projects from all development sectors including health, education, agriculture, water, sanitation and hygiene, and economic development.
After the break, Mountain Dew create platform for talented dancers. On Sunday, September 10, 2023, the HAPEC House played host to the spectacular Mountain Dew X1 Squad Papua New Guinea National Dance Championships 2023. Described as a mesmerizing event, the competition unfolded after months of intensive workshops conducted by the tireless One Squad, a testament to their passion and professionalism on the stage of dance. With over 500 enthusiastic attendees, the competition was nothing short of a dance extravaganza, playing the vibrant spirit of Papua New Guinea's flourishing dance scenes.
The Mountain Dew One Squad Papua New Guinea National Dance Championships 2023 brought together an audience of more than 500 people to witness various local dance crews showcase their talent in dance. Mesmerizing, heart-pounding, and nothing short of a dance extravaganza were words used to describe the showdown between the crews. The competition had 20 crews competing, 8 in the junior division and 12 in the open division. One Squad put in tremendous effort, seeing that the event unfolded after almost 4 months of intensive workshops that culminated in the amazing show of youthful energy. One Squad's hard work and dedication to nurturing The dance community in Papua New Guinea shone brightly through the success of this competition. The Open Division saw Easthood Dance Crew emerge as victors, claiming the prestigious title of Mountain Dew 1 Squad PNG National Dance Champions 2023, along with the coveted 10,000 kina prize money. They narrowly piped last year's winners YBC by a single point. However, YBC was still able to walk away with 3,000 kina in second place. 13DC rounded off the podium in third place, taking home 2,000 kina. The performances left the audience in awe, with many left wondering what remarkable choreography and set groups will have in store in 2024. The junior division was equally awe-inspiring. Youngsters seized the top spot, demonstrating their incredible talent and dedication. The competition was fierce, with the European and Junior Vikings crews taking the second and third positions respectively. Mini Tribe, Underdogs, G-Unit and Checkmate also displayed their remarkable skills and teamwork. The One Squad coach and mentor says that the goal is to get more people to recognize dance as a sport, recognize how much dance means to those who participate, and the talent that Papua New Guinea possesses.
Until next Sunday, I'm Tracy Pa. Good night.